Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Because I have no idea when any one of you will be listening to this. It can be right when I upload it, or it can be years afterwards, so I won't know the exact moment. However, thank you for being here. Alright, so this one's a little bit different. I did not record my ramble. I guess this is the ramble, but also the reflection, because I dropped off my brother this morning. And I'm not setting up my mic in front of my brother, at least not right now. Talking about my brother, he left his ID on my dash. So, let me go ahead and move that. But for today's word of the day. Now, if you're noticing the audio difference, it's because I'm not hooking up the mic right now. We'll see. We'll go from there. We will go from there. Alright, the word is philosophy. 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 That's the noun. And the plural version of that is philosophies. And the Y becomes an IES when it is plural. Alright. 1. A speculative inquiry concerning the source and nature of human knowledge. Any system of ideas based on such thinking. 2. The investigation of natural phenomena. Natural philosophy. Now there's a word before the two, there's a word after two, and it's archaic. Archaic. I don't think it's archaic. It might be. However, that's the word. 3. The sciences and liberal arts excluding medicine, law, and theology. Doctor of philosophy. 4. A basic theory concerning a particular subject. Philosophy of education. 5. The set of values of an individual culture. And so we have philosophical. That's the adjective. Philosophically, which is an adverb. And this is a continuation? No, there's no way. No, that's just an end piece. That's not a part of philosophy. Now, that is interesting. Today's word is philosophy. Alright, now to go home and to reflect on my workout. I think before I drive off, I'll do my reflection, and then while I drive back, I'll go ahead and actually do a little bit more rambling, a little bit more personal, the reflection on how yesterday went for me, and revelations I had about myself going forward. So today was primary legs. This is a lot of my compound movements, but I just mean squats and RDLs. And it honestly went pretty well. Now, I did high weight, low reps, and high weight for, where I am in my journey. That being a plate, and 10. Now, there's still this slight fear of putting too much weight or load on my body with a broken bone still. So, let's go ahead and comment there. However, this lower weight really helps me focus on that explosive nature on the positive, and the lower weights really make me understand what stability muscles are not really honed in for the negative. Because the lighter the weight and the more control, the more thought you have into your movement, it begins to feel a bit harder. And that's because your stability muscles are really, really trying their hardest to keep a certain pace without getting it to the end goal. And so it's no longer just, here's the start, here's the finish, let's get here as fast as possible, but rather let's thoroughly work through the process in between. And that's hard. I think that could go ahead and extend to a lot of things where people just want to get to the end of a motion without the struggle of anything in between. But the struggle in between is what actually reinforces the muscles. And I would like to say ideologies about yourself through life. It's a little philosophical there. Using the word from today. Yeah, so focused on the negatives. I need to focus on the negative a bit more. I think I was really focused on the positive pop to get the weight up. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. I like the sound of the weights when I pop up and I hear them like jingle, like shift a little bit. Something about it is just pretty nice. So I did that. I did 6 sets of that, and I was doing about six reps and giving myself a modest break in between. And towards the end is really when I started focusing a lot more on the negative, 25-pound plate on the end, and really focusing on going down and slowly coming up too. Focusing on the positive coming up too makes you really understand and appreciate your quads a lot more. Now for the RDLs today, I felt like it was really underwhelming for myself, and I think that's because I have absolute poor grip strength currently. I will have stronger grip strength as I continue to progress forward. However, that's why I bought wrist straps, and at one point in my life, I was doing 2 plate RDLs. That's not now, that was before. Right now, I'm barely doing, not even a plate. I'm at 40 pounds on both sides. And again, I don't want to load too much weight on the broken bone on my body. Hasn't even been 3 months yet. So, being careful about it. I did feel a really great stretch, though, on the RDLs at the weight that I was doing. I was doing about 8 reps per each. Then I went to 6. Giving myself a modest break. Doing what are they called? Not hip bridges, but like opening up my hips. I don't know what they're called. It's like doing butterflies, but you're standing vertically. Hip bridges, I don't think that's what they were called. Something along those lines. In between, and that's just to really give myself a lot more movement and flexibility. So yeah, I think squats overall were very much fine. I believe RDLs, I was getting really lost in the music and not focusing on the lift as much, but I was still lifting. Still going through the motions, and that's the double-edged sword, saying you're going through the motions because you're not maximizing your purpose at that moment. However, you're still doing it. So, cut yourself some slack, but understand that you got to put a lot more focus into it. And so I will say that I got to track every single one of the movements that I did do. I actually placed them inside my app that I have been using to track my progress. I'm saying that, and I think I forgot. I think I forgot some towards the end, actually. I forgot the 25-pound one, but that's okay. However, I placed those ones in there. Regarding actually the cardio, I did a lot of side steps. I'm really pushing off my calves there. I believe my calves are a little neglected, and I need to spend a bit more time actually working those out. So I'm going to incorporate more calf work into my routine. And a lot of the calf work, from what I've read about, needs to really focus on a negative stretch when you go below the platform rather than the positive pop-up. And my calves do get work. I'm not going to say they don't. They do on my secondary and tertiary leg day. However, I still feel that they're lacking just a bit. So yeah, that's really the workout reflection here. Oh, and regarding cardio. First 10 minutes I really did a lot of arm movements, i.e., shoulder, what are they called? Not shoulder flies. When you spin, like windmills? Are they called windmills? I think they're called windmills. When you rotate your arm in the air, like you do windmills on both sides. I was doing dolphin movement, I was swimming movements to really rotate and lubricate my shoulders, doing forearm stretches where you put your arm fully out and you push back on your fingers, getting my forearm stretched out, arm twist, really focusing on the twisting movement for my forearms. I really didn't do anything that was really focused on burning my tricep, like tricep kickbacks. I did some movements like that, however, it wasn't the primary focus. I didn't do cobra curls where you push in for your forearm and your bicep. That's what I call them. I don't know if that's what they're actually called. I really love doing that. But yeah, first 10 minutes was arms. Next 10 minutes was actually footwork, and that was a lot of the sidestepping. And the last 10 minutes was a lot more focused on drilling my core. And so this is what I consider my standard treadmill day. And for core, I'm doing Russian twist while I'm walking. It looks very awkward, I bet, to a lot of the people. But humility is a part of the process here. And if it gets to where I'm trying to get, so be it. If it works, it works, and I just gotta prove it works. Stick with it consistently enough and hold true to your method, and over time, it'll show. That's what I learned in the book, Psychology of Money. So, now I'm going to drive home. And actually, it's a great point for me to transition. So, regarding what I want to do with my life, I guess moving forward, and this sounds, I'm not going to decide, but it's an attempt. You got to take attempts to see really where you want to be, because that book, The Psychology of Money, is really eye-opening, where you underestimate how much you will transition and move in your life. You never know. Excuse me. What might go on? It really just... Hold on, pause. Pause. There is a lot of messages in the book that I've come across in my lifetime that really are refreshers and reminders for things I've seen on social media. And the book, I'm starting to love. I loved books. I always have. And I believe it's just because carrying a book around, I always thought, well, that's a nerd. And part of me didn't want to accept being a nerd. Part of me really did not want to accept that. But I'm embracing it. I'm embracing the fact that I love reading. I'm embracing being the nerd that I am, because I love books. I love learning. Okay? And that's perfectly fine. I don't like reading on my phone, because I've already associated in my mind that my phone is like social media. It's just this consumption of now slop that I see. I'm not saying it's bad. Okay? I'm not saying it's bad. That's just what I have association with. So when I open my phone, I'm just mindlessly scrolling a little bit here and there. And there's bits and pieces of information that surely I can use, but time and time again, for like over the last couple of years, you just see a lot of the same post over and over and over again. And at this point, it's just bots reusing clips to get you to watch them, to have traction, to give views, look good, to have you press a link. And I'm just taking a step back from that idea. And a lot more now. And me openly sharing this, I mean, it gets posted online, it's already being used as data. They already know who we are. There's no question about who we are to them. They really don't know who we are. They just know the habits and tendencies and the things that we are currently interested, but not rather the projections on who we can be in the far future. They just have enough information up to a certain point. Anywho, Whoa! Anywho, Yeah, I think writing book reviews might be something I would like to take on, or doing book reflections. I feel like that'd be a space for me to go ahead and enter. And a lot of them are these self-development books. I don't read a lot of fiction. I do not. The last fictional series I read in a book. No, that's a lie. Who Moved My Cheese is also technically fictional. That is a fictional book that with an overall message in there too. I mean, everything, there is a message, there's a theme, there's something that is being portrayed to take away from literature. Anyways, The Chronicles of Vladimir Todd. And it was crazy because I saw someone use the image for that book series on their like decal for something they were doing, and it was just like, well, and the post was like 2 weeks old, so I was just like, whoa, like this is new, this is someone's really touching. Because I remember buying the library at my school. This was a middle school, by the way, so it's been a while. Had the first 4 books, but didn't have the last one. And so I went to Barnes & Noble's, and thank God they had the last one available. Or the last one in stock. And so I got to finish the series. Absolutely wonderful. I would reread again. So, yeah. 100% great. Need me a snow in my life. I think that was the character's name. Yeah, I almost read the other side of the story. I'm not going to say too much, but the other series that also goes with it from the other viewpoint, from a different character. Just go read the series. It's really great. It really opens up pretty well too. You get to go straight into the action. Like you're immediately thrown in to the story without knowing what's going on. And I believe a lot of great movies do that. Or movies that, let me not say it like that. Great to me is relative. The movies that I find really well are the ones that throw you into some sort of chaos beforehand. Yeah. Okay. Yesterday, I meal prepped. I wrote it in my description on the last one, but I meal prepped and I cooked too much damn chicken. I cooked actually a hell of a lot of chicken. That was way too much, honestly. I gotta go ahead and, when I cook, actually ration things out a bit better. Still don't cook enough rice because I just, I thought I was cooking for 5 days worth. No, I was trying to cook for apparently 7 days worth in my mind when I cooked all that chicken. I was like, I only have like 5 days worth of rice. It's like, I gotta cook more rice, and my family was trying to cook. I was like, my bad, guys. Did I cook enough beans? I think so. So, my measurements there are a little lacking, gotta be honest. However, I didn't. I have 6 days worth of meals. Pretty great, honestly. And I think it's a big plus. I think if you've never meal prepped before, I feel like you should give it a shot. And I'm going to say now, yes, you're eating the same thing over and over and over again. Is your cat doing the same thing? Is your dog doing the same thing? You see how they look? Pause, because some people... Okay, let me... Anyways, they're eating the same thing over and over and over again. And they look at you and you're having Jack in the Box one night, Wendy's the next. And you suddenly are like, actually, I'm not coming home tonight. I'm going to go eat out. And they're just looking at you like, and I get the same kibble every single damn time. You look at them and you're just like, it didn't work anyways. And you're just like, what? With that being said, I like changing up my cat's food, even if it's just kibble, even if it's different brands, just to give them a variety. And we have preferences, we have ones that we prefer. That's just the truth to it. You don't know until you try it. I like having some versatility. I gotta change it up on the cat. Doesn't mean I'm like mixing every single damn kibble together. I don't think he likes the current one that I got him, so I gotta go buy a reliable one, the one that he's been eating. You gotta have old reliable. That's what meal prepping really is, actually. I lost track there. Meal prepping is finding that old reliable kibble that you love for yourself. Not actual kibble, but a meal that you can consistently eat. So, for me, it actually grew to be rice, chicken, beans, and veggies. I actually cooked that for myself pretty well. However, which way you cook those is up to you. Whatever you add in your rice, whatever you add to your beans, whatever veggies you choose and you love, whatever meat option you like. I just find it very important that you go ahead and track the macros for that, and be very conscious of how much oil you're using to cook the things. If you're air frying, great job. You're doing amazing. Now, or if you're baking chicken, oh yeah, life must be spectacular. Unfortunately, I might not make this light, and that's okay. Cursed indeed. Whoop. I made it on the yellow. Got lucky there. So yeah, that's what comes with meal prepping. You'll find what you find comfortable. Just, again, it's all dependent on what you're trying to do. Another thing that happened yesterday, again, is talking about my environment. Nobody forces me to eat. However, I love sweets. I just gotta be honest, I have a sweet tooth. I always have. I'm not gonna say I always will. It is changing. That is changing. I have a sweet tooth that is slowly changing to really, really, really understand moderation. I didn't need to have 4 cookies last night. Could have had a cookie. Called it good. I also had chips. I'm gonna be honest. I'm still showing up to the gym. I'm building on the muscle mass. That's a part of this, to replace the fat. I want to be at absolute, bone steak. If I lose all my weight, I gotta have muscles to replace that to make me look fuller. To make me look filled. So, yeah. That's just a truth. I also learned, I'm like far back, hold on, pause. Right, and we go here, and right. There. What was I about to say? Setting the principles and standards of my own life regarding the gym, having this plan that I've now been incorporating is great. Now I need to go ahead and set up a financial plan. I'm reading these books, but also implementing bits and pieces that I take as truth for myself. And that was a piece I've learned this from another book by Ray Dalio. And actually from this book as well too, is you don't blindly follow every single piece of advice because everybody's walking a different walk in life. The current chapter I'm even on is that idea where when someone tells you to buy a stock, but you're a day trader, or you're holding 30 years long, or you're only looking at a 5-year projection, you don't take all the advice the same. So why you take everybody else's advice online the same? Hell, even my advice. Hell, this advice though is really more for me than it is for other people. But other people can go ahead and use the advice or the learnings that the things that I have learned from myself and tried to maybe try it for themselves and actually go, well, actually this worked for me. You know, I don't understand what the hell he's talking about. What? It's like, I eat a case of Oreos. That's the only thing I have every single day, and I'm losing weight. Well, you're probably in a caloric deficit. I actually don't know how many calories are in a case of Oreos. But if you're burning more than that, holy cow. You do you. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. So, another bit of piece of journaling. That's why I also thought maybe doing book reviews would be great. Writing and reflecting on those. Yeah. Anyways, I'm home. Gotta go cook my breakfast. The potatoes, cheese, and egg whites to get my day started. And I have meal preps, so when I get hungry, I know where to go. Also, I might buy icebreakers to have in between. Potentially. Anyways, thank you for listening. This one, yeah, is about the same length as my normal rambles. So, yeah. Be blessed. Continue to learn about yourself as much as possible, day by day. Even if that just means you learn something new, a singular thing about yourself. Bye.